For 10,000 years, the Ultramarines have fought, unflinching against the darkest threats to the Imperium. They have stood firm in the path of onrushing orc hordes, defeated rapacious warbands of Chaos Space Marines, and crushed cruel bands of Drakari slave raiders. They have defended hard-pressed Imperial worlds, and struck swift and true to seize new planets upon which to plant the Imperial flag. The Ultramarines have fought through blazing hive cities and across baking deserts, engaged in magnificent aerial conflicts, grueling guerrilla campaigns, and spectacular armored offensives, and have excelled in every field. Alright, here we got our finished up conversions. We did a couple of the Ultramarine Bladeguard veterans today, as you can see, and we went ahead and did a couple slight modifications on top of that. We used the Ultramarines theme shields, went ahead and magnetized the arms so they are removable and posable, and then also went ahead and did it with the heads as well. So you could use your standard Bladeguard heads if you wanted, or just pose them in any way that you please. And you can swap them all if you would rather have a different shield on a different bro or pose, etc. And that's our third one right there. And once again, very simple to do. Each guy uses only 4 magnets, and then if you wanted to go ahead and add another head, it would be 5. So it's only a couple magnets. I'll leave the details in the description, but once again, just the idea being that you could swap out whichever shields you wanted. Also, it's just, honestly, I did it mainly just so it's easier to paint, so they're not a pain in the butt when I go to paint them if the shield's like blocking everything. And you'll see, like I was saying in the video, I used these hands from the Incursor kit, and it basically has like a little monitor screen built into it. So when I go to paint it up, it'll kind of look like there's like a video camera on the shield maybe, or something like that, or like a heads-up display or whatever. So they came out pretty cool. I'm definitely a fan. They definitely have the Ultramarines look to them. Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man in the studio. Today we're going to be converting some Ultramarines Bladeguard veterans. So I have the Bladeguard veterans, the captain, and then also some of the Invictor Caesarian bits. It's like the Ultramarine themed shields, axes, and helmets. So we're just going to start off by cutting out all the pieces we need from the sprue, and then we can kind of go from there. So we just want to go ahead and get all the blade guards out, and all the bits we need just clipped off, and then we can kind of start carving them up a little bit and replacing some of the bits that we need. So idea just being here, we're just going to use all of the main bits. Not going to need the shields, obviously. Not going to need the heads, obviously. And we will be using the majority of the arm that has the weapon on it, but we're going to swap out the axes for the swords, because that's going to be just like a little more like thematic Ultramarines. And if you haven't checked out the Deathwatch Captain conversion we did, that one is posted up. He came out really cool. It's basically just like the finished product though, because I did have some recording issues. Alright, so here we've got all our bits clipped out, and we can kind of just get a rough idea what we're working with here. I'm not going to push them together quite yet, because we do want to still clean them up and everything, but basically going to do shields like that. And this is gonna look actually like pretty similar to Manius Calgar's retinue, but they should still look pretty awesome. I think that's kind of like the idea they were going with when they came up with these guys. I think the axes will really set them off too, so that's like totally like the Ultramarines thing, so should look pretty cool when it's all said and done. But basically we want to just go through and give everything a nice little cleanup. I always like to do like a little mock-up like that and just make sure how everything's gonna look, and what exactly I need to do to make it fit and everything. So alright, so now that everything is all cleaned up, we're basically just gonna stick these bad boys together real quick. and we can kind of get a more accurate idea as to what we're looking at. And obviously these are the easy to build snap togethers. I like to trim the little pegs just a tiny bit so they just slide on a little bit easier, and then if you need to remove them again you can as well. So this one has a special backpack because it kind of like holds them together. I mean, you can't beat that. I honestly, I know a lot of people don't like the easy to build kits because they don't offer as much like customization or whatever, but I mean, obviously I have no problem cutting stuff up, but I would much rather everything be like, well, I shouldn't say everything. I'd much rather most of my stuff be like easy to build and then just customize it by cutting it up and stuff. Alright, so that's basically the 3 blade guards, and then we essentially want to, you know, rock out some. Essentially the idea is pose them up pretty cool. Kind of want to do, you know, the angle accordingly. I still, honestly, I really like those axes, but I'm not 100% if they're necessary, just because the swords are really cool already. Not sure. Definitely gonna look awesome, that's a fact. Alright, so for this next set, I just need like basically a piece for the hand to go from here to here and then attach the shield to. So I had these pieces left over from like the infiltrator kit. It's like a little screen. So I'm just gonna literally like trim the bumps off the back of it and just flatten it out. And then I'm just gonna mount the shields right onto it. And then on the inside it'll look like he has a little screen, like there's a camera or something he can see on the other side. But it'll give me like a nice mounting point and the position I need. So alright, so basically just made one of these little arms into a piece that would join up like right at the joint. Alternatively, you could sever the whole arm off and then just use the shoulder and just put on like a Blood Angel shoulder pad or Ultramarine shoulder pad or whatever. But I'm going to do like some decals on these ones, and I also don't think I have any right now. For either one of those chapters. So, but I did decide to do something different. I'm going to pull out the drill, and I'm actually gonna just like drill the holes right here and just put like a couple little magnets in them, just so it's a little easier when I go to paint. So all I'm gonna do is just, I got my right drill bit right there, and I'm just gonna put one in there, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the hand. And then we'll be able to like take them off easy for paint and storage and all that good stuff. And then if you want to glue them later, you can. Alright, perfect. So then we can just basically jam a little magnet in there, and then we're good to go. So alright, so we got them all drilled out, and this is actually a really good opportunity to show you something, a little trick of the trade. I messed up and drilled out the first one just like slightly too big, so the magnets like just go in no problem, and it kind of defeats the purpose of like the like push fit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take one of these little bits like from when we drilled out. I'm gonna put a little glue in the hole, and then I'm gonna take these little like spiral drilled out bits, kind of roll them up, and then I'm just gonna put a little bit down in the hole, and then I'm gonna take our magnets, okay, once it's all lined up in the correct direction and everything, and then I'm just gonna jam that into the hole with the little sprue bits in there. And then as you'll see, now I'm just gonna push it in and secure it. But you'll see before it was a loose fit, and now we just trim up the extra plastic. Before it was a loose fit, and now it's perfect. So now it's like push fit back in there. It's not a big deal that we drilled out the hole too big. We just fixed it like simply. And then I have to do the exact same thing on this because I accidentally drilled that just slightly too big as well. And again, you know, you might think like, oh no, I just messed it up. The hole's too big now. What am I going to do? Just jam a little bit of that. And all you're trying to do is just take up some of that space. So when you do jam this in, it fills it in. So now we just want to make sure we flip it around, get it exactly where we want. And All right, here we got our finished up conversions. We did a couple of the Ultramarine Bladeguard veterans today, as you can see, and we went ahead and did a couple slight modifications on top of that. We used the Ultramarines theme shields, went ahead and magnetized the arms so they are removable and posable. And then also went ahead and did it with the heads as well. So you could use your standard Bladeguard heads if you wanted, or just pose them in any way that you please. And you can swap them all if you would rather have a different shield on a different bro or pose, etc. And that's our third one right there. And once again, very simple to do. Each guy uses only 4 magnets. And then if you wanted to go ahead and add another head, it would be 5. So it's only a couple magnets. I'll leave the details in the description. But once again, just the idea being that you could swap out whichever shields you wanted. Also, it's just, honestly, I did it mainly just so it's easier to paint. So they're not a pain in the butt when I go to paint them if the shield's like blocking everything. And you'll see, like I was saying in the video, I used these hands from the Incursor kit, and it basically has like a little monitor screen built into it, so when I go to paint it up, it'll kind of look like there's like a video camera on the shield maybe, or something like that, or like a heads-up display or whatever. It came out really cool. Definitely a good way to use some bits I had laying around to spruce up these models and take them to the next level. They obviously resemble Manius Calgar and his retinue, which is probably like the inspiration for the Bladeguard or somewhere in between. But obviously we have like the similar style helmets on them, and then like the Ultramarines theme shield. So, and I was thinking about doing the axes instead, but honestly the swords look so cool, I just decided I was going to leave it at that. So, and I'm going to mess with them and get them primed up and probably do a nice little painting tutorial on them as well. So if you're looking for some conversions and some painting ideas for the Ultramarines, here's the spot. Make sure you like and subscribe. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.